It is. Welcome to another episode of Foul on the Play. I am your host, Kristy Love, and here I have Dan, my co-host from the Three Kings podcast. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing today?
I'm good.
What's
As
up?
you know, we have a Super Bowl winner, a new
hmm
champion that is not Kansas City. So we're going to get into that and a lot more. But first, make sure you guys follow me on TikTok and on Twitter and Instagram at I am Kristy Love. Follow me on TikTok at Kristy Love Sports. Where can they find you?
Of course, Danican underscore DG3 on TikTok and as well as X or Twitter, whatever you call it.
Well, yeah, whatever you call it. I still call it Twitter. Like it's not gonna be X to me at all. And make sure you guys follow the Team MBS Media. You can follow them on Instagram, Blue Sky, Threads,
Sure.
Facebook, YouTube, and I think they're on TikTok, not TikTok. Well, TikTok too, but they're on X as Team MBS Live. So
Yeah.
make sure you guys follow, subscribe, check us out. We're all dope. So just check us out.
Bunch of stuff, man. Whatever you're looking for, whether it be life and entertainment, lifestyle,
Mhm.
sports,
Mhm.
covering all sports from all angles. I mean, yeah, it's going down. So check it out.
I guess so. We're pretty dope. So we have a lot to get into. But let's go ahead and let's get this out the way. Let's talk about the Super Bowl that
Sure.
just took place. As you all know, it was, I'm gonna say this. The Eagles won. We all know that. The Eagles came out on fire, unstoppable the moment the game started. Kansas City didn't have they didn't adjust to how Philly was playing at all. Like they came out on fire, defense on fire. Pat Mahomes ended up getting two interceptions, two crucial interceptions. I remember the game was like 33 to zip, I think in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, dang,
34-0. Yeah, something like
yeah,
that.
are they going to get shut out? Are they going to get shut out? Like, they haven't scored. They couldn't get anything going offensively at all. But at the second half, fourth quarter, Pat Mahomes did come alive. I think he had like three touchdowns, but it didn't matter because Philly just kept scoring.
Did
Um,
they score three? I thought he just had 40-14 at the end, wasn't it?
no,
Something like that.
I think
No,
he got like
maybe I'm tripping.
three
I don't know.
touchdowns. He passed for three
Okay,
touchdowns, but
well,
it
it was
wasn't enough.
garbage time. It was empty calories. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
You know?
It was too late. It was
Yeah.
too late. I'm happy for Philly. As we all know, Jalen Hurts got Super Bowl MVP, well
hmm
deserved. Saquon did not get 100 rushing yards, so my parlay lost. A lot of our parlays lost because Kansas City was just they came out flat and it was horrible. What are
yeah.
your thoughts on it?
If you put any money on Kansas City, on any player on Kansas City, you probably lost. So it is what it
Yeah.
is. Um, I thought man, I was looking at it and I'm like, okay, when I thought about it, I was like, okay, last week on the podcast, I was like, this is a situation where we're normally looking at it and it's like, okay, can anybody keep up with Kansas City because they're going to load the scoreboard up, right? And at the end of the day, I was looking at it and it's what I said last week. It's more along the lines of, can Kansas City keep up with Philly at this point? Because they had just dropped 55 against Washington or whatever.
Mhm.
Or, yeah, was it what? Yeah, Washington.
Yeah.
And then they came into this one and they hitting on all cylinders, man. You got Jalen Hurts, you got Saquon Barkley, you got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. I mean, they was just hitting on all cylinders. This was playing out of this world. So, at the end of the day, I'm looking at it and I'm like, wow, it's pretty much indicative of what I thought was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to be that much of a blowout. I thought Kansas City would put up somewhat of a fight, and I
Mhm.
thought they would just not be able to keep up. But they just got blown off the map in this game,
Mhm.
and it was it was I don't want to say bittersweet because I've been saying Kansas City is so beatable this year, and they were kind of riding by, skating by the hair on their chinny chin basically, and they was able to get to the Super Bowl, but when they got to the Super Bowl, they got mollywopped, they got spanked. So,
They did.
it was what I kind of thought was gonna happen. I just didn't think it was gonna be that much of a blowout. So I was a little bit surprised by that.
So let me ask you this: do you think? I know it's early, but do you think starting next season in the NFL, do you think Kansas City, based on how they played in the Super Bowl, may miss the playoffs next year? They may be like I don't want to say terrible team, but a team that just missed the playoffs.
No, I don't think so. I think they're still. I mean, they went to the Super Bowl. This is a team that's been to what, 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls or something like that. It's ridiculous.
Hmm.
I mean, they won 3.
Hmm.
Um, I just don't see them falling off to where they're not a playoff contender. Um, you know, of course they're in that division with Denver, and they're kind of like on the rise or whatever. But I just don't see them on Kansas City's level. I think they'll reload. They'll do what they need to do to stay relevant. They that's what they've been doing. When you got Pat Mahomes, you're not gonna like just be like whatever. You're gonna still be trying to get to the playoffs. So I think they'll reload. They'll restock, make some moves and decisions, and they'll probably be back in the playoffs next year.
Um, to answer my question, I think they'll make the playoffs, but they won't go far. I think after this, we're gonna start to see of a downfall with Kansas City because if you think about this past season, like you've been saying, they've been beatable, which they have. They won games by pure luck, like seriously by luck.
Well, you can say that it's by luck, and I was saying that too, right?
Yes,
But at the same time, they were in those games. So anytime you
that's
put
true.
yourself in a position to be in the game, you can steal that mug at the end, or something goes your way. That's all you need. So they're still good enough to be involved in games, and they're so well coached. And you got Pat Mahomes, of course, Travis Kelsey, if he comes back, unless he retires, but I think he'll probably end up coming back. I don't see him retiring right now.
Mhm.
You just have the ingredients right there for a successful team. So, especially with Andy Reid. I mean, Andy Reid. Everybody knows that I like Andy Reid because he's been able to do it with several different quarterbacks. He's gone in the NFC and AFC to the championship, to the Super Bowl.
Mhm.
You got to give him his credit for what he's done, putting together a team and staying relevant for as long as he's been relevant. So, you know, when you got that guy, you got Pat Mahomes, you got a real good shot of going to the playoffs and going far in the playoffs.
That's true. We'll have to see, but I don't think they'll be back in the Super Bowl after this year.
Hmm.
I don't. I mean,
A bold
anything
prediction.
could happen. That's
It's not really
extremely
bold.
bold.
No, it's
But
not extremely.
I mean, come
I mean,
on,
you just said not in the Super Bowl, right? So that's not bold.
it's
Bold would say no playoffs. That would be
that's
bold.
true.
You gonna step out
They'll
there?
make it, but they won't go far. They'll meet the right team that's gonna beat them again. They'll meet the right team, and it should
Yeah.
have been Buffalo. I don't know why Buffalo cannot
Oh,
beat
here
Kansas
we
City.
go.
I know. Here we go. I
Here we go.
don't know why they can't do
Because
it.
Josh Allen ain't good enough.
He won MVP. Did
He
you
ain't
watch
good.
the
Man,
NFL
that
honor?
was that. He shouldn't have won MVP. By the way, by the
A lot of
way,
folks was mad about that.
he shouldn't have won MVP.
Why?
Straight up. Lamar Jackson was better. Lamar Jackson was way better. He was more important to his team.
So
He was
was
way
Josh
better.
Allen. He made his
Josh Allen
team
is very
better.
important. I'm not saying he's not important to his team, but come on, man. Lamar Jackson won MVP last year. He outdid his numbers this year than what he did last year. Josh Allen didn't come close to his numbers, but they gave it to Josh Allen. To me, it said, "Here, take it, Josh. We want to give it to
Well,
somebody
they
else
voted.
because Lamar got 2 in a row."
The vote was like 31-27, I think, between him and Lamar.
Yeah, something like
So
that.
something like that. So I mean, I understand. I
I
think
don't.
Lamar should have got it too. Like either or is not wrong in my opinion. I like Lamar; he should have got it, but Josh also deserves MVP.
I don't think he deserved
Oh well, that's okay.
it.
Did you watch
That's
the
your
NFL?
favorite quarterback. That's all it is.
He's one of my favorite. I still like Justin. And and speaking of Justin, real quick, it's been going online at the past like maybe 2 hours. Justin put on his Instagram page a picture of him in his Steelers uniform. Basically, from what I'm gathering, that's him saying he wants to come back to Pittsburgh next year. I believe they're going to let Russell walk. He's not going to resign or not going to sign him back.
Yeah,
So
he's 36.
Yeah, but he
You
has a
got a
good
young team. You got a young team, and it's like, okay, they're not at the point where you got to have this veteran quarterback. I mean, throw him in there this year, but
Mhm.
I see them going in a different direction. I don't know if it's going to be Justin Fields. I really don't know, but we'll
Yeah, we
see.
don't.
We'll see.
Yeah, but just I real quick, I just hope he stays because I feel like it's a good fit. Not going to the Jets, no, or the Giants, no. Stay where he's at. He's fine where he's at.
Yeah, but if he was fine where he's at, my thing is they would have let him play the rest of the season. You would have never went to Russ. Now I understand why they went to Russ
I was
because
gonna say that.
it's a veteran leadership, blah blah blah. You know what I mean? I said that earlier this year.
Yeah,
But at the same time, if you want to move in a different direction, and everybody knew I mean, Pittsburgh wasn't winning no Super Bowl this year. They weren't. They
that's
weren't
true.
at that point, right?
That's true.
So, you had Justin. He was playing at a high level, and then you went with Russell Wilson. I didn't agree with it, but it is what it is. You know what I
I
mean?
feel like
And at the end of the day, you've already kind of said that that's not your guy when you go with a different guy. You know what I mean? Especially when he's playing good. I can see if Justin was playing really bad, but he was playing good at the time, and you still went with the other guy. So to me, that was just like, whatever. I don't,
I just
it
feel
is
like
what it is.
when Russ was coming to Pittsburgh, they already gave him that spot. And the
Don't
fact that he
matter.
got,
Don't matter.
but that was his spot regardless though. And the
All
fact that
right.
he got hurt and Justin was in, that's just what I feel like. You can
I
say
feel
whatever,
you.
but he was promised that starting spot, so they did what they're supposed to do. Now I do agree when Russ was starting to play bad and look real questionable, they should have put Justin Fields in. But
Go back to him.
initially that
Crazy.
Russ, yeah, it is. But I mean that's just what I think. But let's go
Yeah.
ahead and move on.
It's
Because
gonna be
I
interesting.
don't want to do this whole Justin Fields debate thing again. I don't want to do that.
Oh, people gonna be debating
You know
that.
how
They're still
Bears
debating
be
that in
either.
Chicago, of course.
You know
Right.
how they are.
Yeah.
Justin Fields anything. Oh my God, you don't like Caleb? I'm not saying that at all. I'm still a fan.
Yeah.
So, and I'm saying on my podcast, I will occasionally bring up Justin Fields. And if you don't like it, you can fast forward or you can just leave. Simple. It's simple. Let's move on.
Let's move on.
um, Back to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, he was the MVP of the Super Bowl. He completed 17 and 22, 221 yards. And he had 2 touchdowns, and he also rushed for 72 yards. Amazing performance. He looked good. They all look good. Saquon, he had 57 rushing yards. I wish it was 100, but he had 57. Um and 40 receiving yards. So they play good. I will say though, who won the game was the trenches.
Of course, on both sides of the ball.
Yes, on both sides of the ball, the trenches. And I really hope Ryan Poles was watching because the trenches is what needs to be fixed.
I don't think Ryan Poles needs to know that. I think he
He,
knows that already.
I
You know what I'm
surely
saying?
hope he do.
I hope Chicago Bears fans were listening and watching the game,
I feel like they know.
and they understand that.
Most.
I think that's what it is. A lot of people blame Poles, man, but y'all asked for him to do what he did, and then when he did it, then you want to turn it around and blame him and throw him under the bus. It is what I mean. I just don't agree with it, man. I'm just being real.
I
You know.
understand. But that's our immediate need. Not a rushing a running back,
Yeah,
but the offensive line, the defensive line, and the edge rusher.
absolutely.
That's what we need. So I hope Bears Twitter and Ryan Poles and the Bears watched and saw how the trenches can really win us games.
Yeah.
That's it. That's all. Because
This,
that
I mean, it's not rocket science. You know what I mean? This is the age-old thing in football. It's not. We've been beating the drum on this. Myself, I got my homeboy Dre Penn. On Twitter, he been doing the same thing. Like we talk about the trenches ad nauseum on
mm,
Spaces after and before games and so on and so forth. And
mm,
it's like people just don't pay attention to it. I don't care what kind of Ferraris you got. I don't care what you have. I don't. If you ain't got the big boys up front to do their business and handle the trenches, you're not going to be a good football team. It's just
hello.
that's what it is. If you're not tough, if you're not physical, at the point, at the line of scrimmage, you're not going to win football games. It just is what it is.
Period. Period. That's it.
Yep,
So we'll
straight up.
see. Because the draft is what, in March, so in like a month.
Is it March? I thought it was April.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking of free
Yeah,
agency. Free agency is in a month. The
yeah.
draft is in April. And then training camp is in July.
Mhm.
So hopefully we'll see what's going to happen in the next couple of weeks as far as free agency. And then the draft is the following month. So hopefully we can get good picks for the offensive line. We need at least 4 O linemen. So let's hope and see. Let's go
Yeah.
ahead. What?
I said, yeah, you definitely need four offensive linemen.
4 at
You know,
least.
there's a talented one coming out of Kansas City possibly. So, you know, if we can grab him up, that'd be nice.
Who is it
Smith,
from
Smith
Kansas City?
from
Okay,
yeah
I'm gonna look.
the right guard. We
Okay,
need him. We need him.
yeah, yeah.
25 years old, young, still in his prime, Pro Bowler. You know,
Period.
we almost doing the whole Nate Davis. Hopefully, it's not a Nate Davis situation.
Don't say that.
Please don't let it be a Nate Davis
Don't say that.
situation. But,
Okay, yeah, okay. Period. We'll see. Ryan Poles, do the right thing now. Please do the right thing. But I want to go ahead and switch gears because it's All Star Weekend this weekend, and it's going to be in the Bay Area, San Francisco. Now
mhm.
they have this new format, which I'm not I'm not too sure on it. Um,
Tournament or whatever.
yes, it's a tournament. So instead of like the East and the West, they're doing 3 teams. They're doing 4 teams of 8 players. They're going to compete in a mini tournament. Um, and I think the 4th team is going to be from the rookies and sophomore, if I'm not mistaken. And
Yeah.
then the winners of the 4 teams are going to play, I guess, in the semifinals or finals, whatever it is. And whoever gets to 40 points first is the winner, if I'm mistaken. If I'm not
Whoever
mistaken.
gets to 40 points.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's the winner.
it's corny, man, but it is what it is, you know.
I mean, they trying new things to, I guess, spice it up because the All-Star weekend has been trash. More so, the dunk contest has been like atrocious. So I understand why they're doing it. I just hope it works out because I'm not confident in it at all. Um, let's go ahead and talk about these all stars. Giannis was an all star, but he's out. He's injured, so he's not going to be in it. We have Jalen Brown, of course, Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, his first all star. Of course, we got Stephen Curry, Anthony Davis. Well, he's hurt, so he's not going to play it no more. Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, Darius Garland from Cleveland, SGA.
Man, you
James,
should have just read this off like the teams.
I should have. All right, well, we know who's in the All Star. Of
All
course, you got
right, all right.
Dame, LeBron, Jokic, Donovan.
Yeah, so let me do it right quick.
Okay, go
Kenny's
ahead.
young stars. This is Kenny Smith's team. You got Kenny's team, you got Shaq's team, you got Chuck's team, of course,
Mhm.
from TNT, right?
Yep.
So Kenny's team is comprised of um, Jalen Brunson, Cade Cunningham, Anthony Edwards, Darius Garland, Tyler Hero,
Mhm.
Jaron Jackson Jr., Evan Mobley, and Jalen Williams. And then, of course, you got Chuck's global stars. I don't know why they call global stars, but whatever. I guess most of them are from overseas. Shea Gilgis Alexander. So he's from Canada, I guess.
Mhm.
Jokic. You got Donovan Mitchell. I didn't know he was from overseas. Alperen Sengun. Pascal Siakam. Carl Anthony Towns, Victor Wembanyama, Trey Young. And then you have on Shaq's squad, Jalen Brown, Steph Curry, KD, James Harden, Kyrie, LeBron, Damian, and Jason Tatum. It's interesting. Luca didn't make the squad. I'm surprised at that.
Yeah,
That's crazy. 28 points a game. He didn't make the.
he didn't. And
That's
Trey
weird.
Young only got in because of an injury.
That's strange.
Because Trey Young didn't make it initially, and it was like a big uproar on Twitter about that.
What's Luca averaging? Like 28, I think, right? That's
Yeah,
crazy. He didn't make the. That's a
yeah,
snub if that's the case.
yeah. A
I don't
couple of
know.
them got
Maybe I'm tripping.
no, a couple of them got
But yeah,
snubbed.
and then you got the Rising Stars. I don't know who's on that squad. I guess it's comprised of rookies and sophomore players.
Yeah,
So
yep. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this works because it's new. I don't know. What do you think of the new format? You think it'll work out?
I mean, I don't know. I just rather see a regular basketball game.
No, for real.
But I mean, but they've done so many different things. It's really not basketball the way I used to watch basketball, of course. You know what I mean? It's just running up and down the court, shooting threes and dunking. You know what I mean? And there's no competitive nature. There's no nobody plays hard. There's
Yeah,
none of that. Have fun and you can play hard at the same time. What they've done is, you know, watered this whole thing down. And then you
yeah.
have no big men in this situation either. There's no big men really. I mean, Carl Anthony Towns, and that's pretty much it, right? So I mean,
Yeah,
Jokic is there, but
yeah,
that's pretty
Jokic
much it.
and
That's just
Chet.
you know, hey, it is what it is though. But this is the NBA now. I tell you that Chuck squad is huge though, man. You got Wembanyama,
Yeah,
Anthony Towns, Sigan, Jokic. That's four, five. That's five guys 6'11" or taller. So they got the height advantage on everybody in there.
we'll see. We'll see. I do want to shout out the Bulls rookie. What's his name? Metas. That's how you pronounce it.
Matis Buzelis,
Matas
Matis
Bazelis.
Matis Buzelis, yeah,
Matis. He's
Matis
gonna
Matis something like that.
he's gonna be in the dunk contest for the All
Yeah,
Star
he got
game.
hops too, man. That bunny,
For what I
he got hops.
see from the highlights, because I still can't watch the Bulls games. He do. I just hope he get more minutes in play because he can really hoop. He can really hoop.
He can
You
play,
know, the
man. You
coach.
you you gotta get him out there on the court though. I mean, it's clogged up with Pat Williams. Sorry, but up in there.
Ugh. They should have got rid of him instead of Zach, like for real. But I'm glad Zach is gone because I don't know. We're just in full rebuild mode. Let's talk about the Bulls real quick because they got demolished last night against Detroit, and they're playing Detroit again today. Crazy,
Are they
and
getting smoked again?
not like last night. Not
Not
like
like
last.
last night. Well, at
Like
halftime it was 71-29. I'm
it's
like, dog, like
29.
you
How
got
y'all
to be
score what 6, 7 points in the whole second quarter in 12 minutes? Y'all couldn't score anything. And then I don't know if you saw Vucevic meltdown on the bench. Um,
no. I stopped
yeah,
watching stuff like that, man. When you getting smoked like that, at home too, like I'm not tuning into it.
he had a meltdown, and I don't know how true it is, but he was like, "Why am I here?" Like he had a meltdown with his towel, throwing his towel around. Why am I here? Like I would say the same thing if I'm getting smoked by 47 points to Detroit, the Pistons. Out of all teams, I mean they're good, but it's the freaking Pistons. Pistons.
You've heard me say it before, people. That is what you call getting dog walked. That's what the Bulls have
Extremely
been
dog
getting
walked.
dog walked out there.
Yeah. Bulls are just in full tank mode. But even though we're in tank mode, I feel like they should still play to compete. Like there's not that much tanking in the world where you got to get blown by like 40 plus points. That's just
But you
straight out
wanted,
embarrassing.
but you wanted the Bears to tank though.
Not like this. I mean, you're getting paid millions to go out there and play your best, and you know for a fact you guys are not playing your best basketball. Y'all giving up, just throwing up shots. You're not executing. You're not getting rebounds. You're not making the best shots. Like, what are you guys doing? Just there on the court, looking crazy. Play,
Pretty much,
defend,
pretty much,
like defend,
pretty
play,
much.
get open looks, good open looks, and shoot the ball. Stop Cade Cunningham. Come on. So I
They
mean,
got they got they got their hands full, man. I don't blame the players though. I mean, I blame the coaching and I blame AK. I blame the general managers and all of that type of stuff. Everybody from the top, because the way the team is constructed is not a winning team. It's constructed as a team that's based on gimmicks. You want to play this small ball, you ain't got shooters though. You know what I'm saying? So you can't play small ball and not have shooters, man. It just don't work. It don't work when everybody's ice cold. It just don't work. Don't work. You got to
I
have a chance to get easy baskets, and the Bulls don't really do that often, unless it's a fast break.
You're not wrong, but I do want to blame the players too because at the end of the day, they're out there, they're playing the game, and you know what to do to win games.
Man, they
Just
overmatched though, man. They're
I
overmatched.
And that does play a part in coaching, rotations, and we know Donovan is not the best,
Skill level, man. I'm talking
but
about skill level.
but
They're
still,
overmatched. They're
okay.
overmatched. They can't rebound. That you know what I mean? You got a couple guys that can pass the ball. You got a couple guys that can shoot like Kobe and maybe, and Zach is now gone, so you don't have him anymore. You don't have really good shooters. You can't rebound the ball. And defensively, they're all liabilities because they're so small. Everybody can beat them up. So when you're overmatched, what can you do? It's like a JV team going out there playing against, North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? It's just not gonna work. It ain't gonna work.
That's
You
sad.
might win a couple of games, you might get hot every now and then, but at the end of the day, you're gonna lose far more games than you win because you're just overmatched.
So in short, you're saying expect more of this type of play for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. Yeah, more of this type of play, and until they change their philosophy, you'll see this play, for years. Until they figure out a way for AK or Billy Donovan or whoever's, you know, demanding that we play small ball, until they change their philosophy and get a couple of big men in here and get somebody. Like I said, I've been saying this time and time again. People get mad at Vooch. Vooch is 6'10". He's undersized as a center, technically.
Okay.
When he goes against Embiid or Jokic, he's 2 inches shorter and he's lighter than them guys. So, you know what I mean? You don't even have a legit center. You got a guy playing out of position. Pat
That's true.
Williams, as much as I dog Pat Williams, he's playing out of position in my opinion. He's 6'7". He should be playing small forward. He can handle the rock a little bit. He should be able to do that. But you stunning his progress and his growth because you got him playing power forward,
Mm,
and it's taking him away from his ball handling. It's taking him away from his shooting ability. So some of that stuff is stunted due to what you have him playing. True enough, he's not. He's not. He ain't got no heart. He ain't got no fire. He ain't got no desire. Those are things that I just can't stand on the basketball court. When a player walks around and loafs out there and just kind of like
mm,
is there. Like,
yeah.
dude, he could play 25, 30 minutes in a game and you
Hmm.
will not even realize that he's on the court. That's how bad it is.
Oh my God,
You
that's
know?
sad. That's sad. You're right. We don't have a true center besides Vooch. Who do we have
Eh,
that can get
then,
them boards?
you got
Is there?
Buzelis who's 6'11", but he's once again he's a small forward, power forward.
Yeah,
So he's not a I mean he's a skinny guy. He's young. You know what I mean. He's still got to put on weight and things like that.
absolutely.
The Bulls just have a bad philosophy at basketball right now. It's really bad.
We've been really bad since the Derrick Rose era.
Yeah,
Like, and that was what 2011, and it's 2025. No direction, no identity. Still,
yeah, horrible,
many guards.
horrible.
Coaching sucks. Our GM is just there for the vibes, I guess. So yeah, it's gonna be another long 4 years until maybe something good happened to the Bulls and things look better because it's sad. It's sad.
Right.
And you know, I really think to send a message besides a billboard, because the billboard talk has been going around, we need to stop attending games. Like if we keep putting money in their pocket, and I know that's so cliche to say, but it's very true, then okay, dang, like we need to figure something out. Like for the White Sox, nobody was going to White Sox games last year. I mean, there
They
was.
ain't figured it out though. They're not doing anything different. And you know what? They have the same owner as the Chicago Bulls. So what's
Yeah,
that
I
tell you?
know. That's why I brought it up.
It don't matter to him. He don't care. Like he'll get his money some way, and he's okay with being mediocre.
That is
He's
sad.
okay with status quo, as you might say.
Like that's sad. Like somebody needs to put some sense into the organization, Bulls, White Sox, and get this man out of there because Chicago is a franchise. Chicago is a sports city.
Mm.
We're a sports city, and all of the sports teams is trash as of right now. The
Well, the
Bears,
Cubs, the Cubs are on their way up though.
they are, they are, but as of right now, nobody's winning. So, um, the Bears is probably our next hope right now. Something has to change. The Bulls haven't won a championship since the 90s and it's 2025.
Hmm.
Like we haven't really had success in the playoffs in like what since the Jordan years. I think with Derrick Rose, we got to what the semi-conference finals.
I went to the Eastern Conference Finals one time too
It's the cover.
with
You
D
right?
Rose.
Okay, yeah. That's it. Like, come on now. Mediocre can't be it. Mediocre cannot be it. So
It's tough.
at the end of the day, we just want to see the Bulls win because a lot of us did not see the Bulls in the Jordan era. And the last time we was excited was during Derrick Rose, and he's long gone. He's retired. So that says a lot. So hopefully things can change because I'm tired of it, and I am not going to no games. I'm boycotting.
I hear you.
Okay, so let's go ahead and switch gears. I do want to talk about the Unrivaled One-on-One tournament. Now, this is a great idea because these ladies are competing to win some money. You got a first prize and you got a second prize. How much is it? I got to figure out how much it is. I wrote it down. Oh, each the winner is going to receive $200,000. So whoever wins the whole thing is going to get $200,000. I know. I don't know if you saw that clip of Kalia Copper. She said her motivation was the money, and that's it. That's all. Period.
Of course. I wonder who's sponsoring this to get $200,000 to the winners. Because is it how many? Everybody on the team
Sprite
gets to split
sponsoring.
that or something or what? Because
Sprite sponsoring. You said what?
yeah, I'm surprised at that. I'm just surprised.
Really? At the sponsor?
No, I'm just surprised that the payout is that big.
Oh,
I'm
they
surprised at it.
deserve it. These ladies deserve it.
I didn't say they didn't deserve it. I'm just surprised at it.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying. Yeah. It's about time they get some big bucks, and it's only going to get better from here, in my opinion.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully. If you guys watched the tournament last night, it was really, really good. A couple of matchups that stood out to me was Rakia Jackson. She went ahead and went against Nafia Collier. Of course, Rakia lost to Nafisha, and Nafisha is going to play Courtney Williams. Courtney Williams is a dog. I don't know if you saw the clip of her when she went against Ryan Howard. Defense like lockdown. Okay, she plays hard. I love it, and she's a trash talker. So she's set to play Nafisha Collier this weekend, and then you have Arike. She's playing the New Phoenix Mercury, Satu Sabali, and then you have let's see, Aaliyah Edwards. She's going to play. Well, she did play. I'm sorry. That was the wrong matchup. I'm sorry. In the quarterfinals, Aaliyah Gray, she went against Aaliyah Edwards, but Alicia Gray, she lost. So Aaliyah Edwards is going to play Ray Burrow. My reading is right.
I don't know.
I'm not. Let me start over. My bad, y'all. Oh my God. I'm reading it so wrong. Gee. Okay. So let me start over. The second round. Aaliyah Edwards, she has a bye. No, what the heck? This is wrong. This ain't right because Alicia Gray lost. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna cut this out.
All right, transition to the next thing.
Because this don't make sense. Hold on. Yeah, because some of these people, they lost. Unless I'm reading this wrong. Okay. I'll figure it out and I'll come back next week with the winners because this doesn't make sense to me. Let's move on to the next topic. Okay, so let's go back to the Super Bowl. This is still a trending topic like 3 days later. Kendrick Lamar shut down the halftime show. Period. It was amazing from top to bottom. I may sound biased because I am a super fan of Kendrick Lamar, but I expected nothing less. I knew he's going to have great storytelling and he was going to send a message, which he did. A lot of people were trying to figure out if he was going to perform Not Like Us. I knew he was because it makes sense. Like, why would he not? Kendrick always goes against the grain, and he did. So, Dan, before I give my thoughts, what was your thoughts on the halftime show?
I thought it was good. I think it was dope. You know what I mean? I was happy to see it. I was happy to see, somebody up there that has some, number one, has some talent. Number one, gave a little bit of a message too. You know what I'm saying? And I like that. I like that. He's not afraid to to push the envelope when it comes to that. You know what I
Mm,
mean? And music is an art form, right? So you can create your art, you can put your message out there. People do it all the time. I don't know why people get offended when black people do it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest, being real. You know what I'm saying? People get offended when black people put their art out there, but other people can put their art out, and it goes without saying. And then you have a lot of people that was bitter and angry. Oh, what is this? I don't like Kendrick Lamar. Blah blah blah. And it's like, man, we've listened to U2. We've heard Aerosmith. We've heard. I mean, you've had both ends of the spectrum. You know what I'm saying? So for people to be all upset and in arms about it, it speaks to a bigger issue in America, in my opinion. And we all know what that elephant in the room is. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Racism is still alive. It's still very much alive.
absolutely,
You know?
absolutely. Like we see it every day. Like
Yeah,
it's has not gone away. Sad to say. I think the halftime show was amazing. Kendrick Lamar is very creative. He's extremely creative because the way he thinks is just like wow. Because I know initially when I first saw the halftime show, I had to rewatch it like 3, 4, or 5 times because you're not going to catch everything he says, everything he do off the first rip. Some
right.
might, I don't. Um, but I like the fact that he did all of that while Trump was at the game because he was there. I'm sure he probably didn't understand nothing that was going on, but sending a message about the government, about how we have to play the game while the president's there, who's clearly, well, we're not going to get into that, um, is a plus to me. SZA, she looked amazing. She sounded good. Um, it was just a great halftime
Absolutely.
show.
This was
As you all know, he's a
absolutely.
SZA fan, like a
Yeah,
fanatic.
yeah, for sure.
She sounded good, looked amazing. Her and Kendrick have amazing
She actually
chemistry.
saved the show. I'm just gonna be real with you. You know what I mean?
No,
Kendrick was nice and everything like that. I give Miss kudos. But if it wasn't for SZA on stage, I probably would have turned my TV off.
you would have watched the halftime
I
show.
would have turned my TV off. Like
No,
you
you
said,
wouldn't.
turn the TV off. I would have turned my TV off.
No, Kendrick did not even need SZA, but apparently she was there because she also dated Drake, allegedly.
That's what I mean. What
Hey,
what's that got to do with anything? Like
well,
what?
he's trolling Drake, so that's why he brought out Serena.
I mean, yeah,
But
it's all good.
the halftime show was great. Now it's time for his tour, and I cannot wait to see what's going to happen in Toronto because when I saw Kendrick be like, "Hey Drake," I'm like, "Oh, man, this man is serious, troll." You know what I'm saying? So I loved everything about this halftime show. I still watch it to make sure I didn't miss anything. It was just amazing. It was amazing. I'm a Kendrick fan, and I love all of this. This whole year has been great. I love
Yeah,
it.
it's been
Once he
dope.
go
He's had a
inside,
huh?
that's it. No more Kendrick for a long
Once
time.
he go inside,
Yes, because I
whatever
went
that
to
means.
because Kendrick was gone for 5 years before
He
missing a rock.
wasn't really gone though. I told you he was doing other projects, man. He just didn't have his own project. You
Kendrick
know,
wasn't doing that much features for real. In them 5 years, he did some. Yeah, he did some, but not a lot. He wasn't popping out for real.
I mean, he was doing a couple pop songs like with Maroon Five and Camila Cabello and
He did.
all of that type of stuff. So I mean, it is what it is. I mean, he was inside. Like you guys say, inside outside. It is what it is. I don't know, whatever. I
Okay.
think he was taking care of his family, doing his thing. I
Yeah,
mean,
he
you can
was.
go on a hiatus and chill and relax for a little bit. You ain't got to be in the spotlight. He
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
him like this.
Yeah. Yeah. He was if you heard his last album, he was going through he was taking care of his mental state. He was going to therapy, X, Y, and Z. So that's what that was. But I want to go ahead and switch gears. I know baseball is coming up, and I know the Chicago Cubs did make it to Mesa, Arizona.
Make it to what?
They made it to Mesa for training camp,
Mm-hmm.
spring
Yeah,
training.
yeah,
They're in
yeah.
Mesa, getting ready for, I guess baseball's preseason.
All right.
Do you have any thoughts or anything you want to say about the Cubs or the White Sox?
Of course, I'm gonna save a lot of it, a lot of what I got to say for the podcast that I do on the Cubs later. But just touching on some of the stuff that the Cubs have done this offseason, I like the move that they made for Kyle Tucker. That's a dope move. You was able to get a perennial All Star, one of the top players in the game, outfielders. He's gonna step into the lineup and like produce big time, and also provide protection and let these other guys become better ball players and hitters themselves, like say Suzuki, Dansby Swanson, all those guys. They need a guy like Kyle Tucker in the lineup, takes a little bit of pressure off them. They see some better pitches and stuff that they can hit as well. So, that was a great pickup. I think the Cubs missed on a couple things. A lot of people were upset that they missed on Alex Bregman because I think he signed with the Boston Red Sox. I'm not that concerned about it. I think they got a nice third baseman in Matt Shaw coming up. And I think he should be able to step in and kind of produce. I'm actually hoping he does because he's on my fantasy team, of course. So hopefully he does well. And I was hoping that they wouldn't get Bregman because I didn't want that to stop Matt Shaw from being able to get into the big leagues. So hopefully he hits the ground running. He's got a ton of potential. Cubs got a nice lineup, man. I think they're slated to win somewhere between 84 to 88 games is what I'm thinking. I've seen some people go as high as saying that they might win 90 games.
Oh, wow.
I think that's a little bit on the high end. I think 84 to 88, somewhere in that ballpark, will be where they reside, and they'll have a chance to win that Central League in the National League. So the Central NL Central, yeah.
NL, yep. Do you remember how many games they won last season?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it was somewhere around there though, somewhere around that 80 some mark.
They won
Yeah.
80 games last
No,
year?
it was more than 80 games. Yeah, I think so.
So I remember they went on like a late season run last year.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay,
I'm not sure what their record was.
that's fine. But 80 sounds about right. So with them winning, with you thinking they can win 80 plus games, that means they're going to the playoffs, right? Potentially.
They have a chance. Yeah, they won 83 games last year. 83 and 79 is what they were. So, I think they could probably add maybe 4 or 5 games to that and get to 88. You know what I mean? They didn't make the playoffs last year, of course, but
yeah,
in the NL Central, you got the Brewers, the Cardinals, the Cubs, the Reds, and the Pirates. The Reds and the Pirates are not that good, in my opinion. The Cardinals are a young team. They're going to be struggling as well. The Cubs are primed to win this division. You know what I mean? They can win that division. I think they're better than the Brewers as well. I think they can win that division. It's just a matter of if they come to play every day. The Cubs had a nice lineup last year, and I think they underachieved, and they went through this terrible slump in like May and June where they were like the worst team offensively in baseball, the absolute worst. They were at the bottom of the barrel, and that really messed them up for the entire year because you can't have 2 or 3 months where you play as the worst team in baseball. You can't have that.
right.
So you gotta, you're gonna have ebbs and flows in a baseball season because it's 162 games. It's long, so you're gonna have some ups and downs. But you don't want your downs to be bottom of the barrel. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So they try to dig themselves out at the end of the year, like you said, but it wasn't. It was too little, too late.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to baseball season because I'm about to be following a lot more like I used to. Bring on baseball, baby, because basketball ain't it. Football is over with.
Yeah, it's time.
So
I mean, maybe we can get some good stuff out of the Cubs. We'll see.
How good was Milwaukee, the Brewers?
They won 93 games last year.
They won a
They were
division.
10 games better than the Cubs last year.
They won a division.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, bad. So hopefully they win the NL Central because we deserve it. We need something good in Chicago.
We'll see.
So as long as everybody stay healthy, they can come to play. I got faith in the Cubs.
We'll see.
As far as the White Sox, maybe next year.
No, not even next year. The White Sox are terrible. They're the worst team in baseball. They were last year. Yeah. They'll probably lose 120 games this year too.
Oh my God, 120 games is crazy.
Yeah, they'll probably lose about 120, maybe 100, might be 130. You never know.
Jesus Christ. Well, alrighty. That concludes another episode of Out on the Play. Next week, we're going to break down everything All-Star MVP, who won the dunk contest, who won the skills challenge, the whole 9. and we'll talk about the unrivaled who won the $200,000. We'll talk about it, all that and more. Make sure you
That's
guys
it.
follow me on TikTok and Instagram at I am Kristy Love. You can follow me on TikTok at I am at Kristy Love Sports. Where can they find you?
At Daniken_DG3 on TikTok as well as X or Twitter, whatever you may call it.
All right. Make sure you guys follow the Team MBS Media on all social media platforms. I will see you guys next week. Bye.
Take it easy.